Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Hogarth's Global Astrology. Know your planets, know yourself, or know your nation, know yourself. The two are interchangeable. Apologies for being slightly late. I had to read up. I got a lot of questions, actually. A lot of questions for Friday Fry Up. And there is so much to discuss. Let me just put my phone on airplane mode so we don't get the notifications interrupting us. There we are. Oh my goodness, there is so much to discuss, you know, where to begin. And of course, as you guys know, we've been had the lunar eclipses, and look what revelations those brought up. Yeah, lunar eclipse. We had the assassination of Charlie Kirk and all the other crazy other kind of cray going on. And then a couple of weeks later, of course, you then have the solar eclipse. And remember, the solar eclipse will always deal with leadership. Yeah, we'll always deal with leadership and stuff like that. So what have we had happen in the last few days? Spoke a little bit about it, but Javier Milei, of course, the leader of Argentina, they're having another kind of financial economic collapse, and the United States is looking to bail them out. So remember, the sun deals with leaders. Whenever the sun is eclipsed, you know, there can be issues, dramas with leaders. We've also had Kamala Harris doing her book tour, as you guys know. She's been revealing, she's been spilling the tea, hasn't she? I've not been able to get the full scoop on that, but for those of you that have got the book or read the book already, do let me know. But of course, remember, eclipses reveal things that were hidden then come into the light, or things that we maybe had some ideas about can suddenly come to full recognition. Then we go, aha, had a feeling. Yeah, always knew it was something like that. Yeah, that's what the eclipses can do. So we've had that. Let me just put a line through that so I don't repeat myself. Nicolas Sarkozy has been jailed over Libya trial. I'm not quite sure exactly what it is with Libya. I've not had a chance to research that story, but that is the former president of France, Nicolas Sarkozy, who was wearing ankle bracelets for years, and you know, he was done for like fraud and other bits and bobs. But this time it looks like he's been jailed. So we see a leader being eclipsed. Yeah, there's all that. And of course, Javier Milei as well. He's also been jailed. I think he got 25 years or something like that for his insurrection. Still counting, of course, for the United States. As if, well, you know, we have to see. Of course, France, remember, the sun also deals with government as well, leadership positions. Saturn is government as well. But of course, France's government collapsed again recently during the eclipse period. They've now got a new prime minister. So you have the president, and then you have the prime minister who's supposed to run the country. Macron is very unpopular. There's that. And we also have Erika Kirk's shady past emerging. Now, what I've done is, for those of you in my membership, I'm sure many of you will have seen it already, but I have done a deep dive into the allegations and stuff that are emerging around Erika Kirk. Yeah. But I've had to put it for membership because I can't really put this public. It's too much of a febrile time at the moment. And unfortunately, you know, the AI, the algorithms, you've got all of these governments trying to lock things down, demonetize people and stuff like that. So if you are a member, if you want to see that video, then you know, just join membership, and you know, for that, and you can always, you know, you can always delete it afterwards if you I mean, you would have to make the payment, of course, but you don't have to do the recurring if you don't want, or if you just want to check that out. But there's a lot of videos on there that are not in the public, so there's a big archive there, and things, education as well on astrology and all of that stuff. So you know, it's pretty good. Quite a few people are going for it. But I made a video on I think it, oh god, when was it? I can't even remember now. What was it? I think it was Thursday night. Yeah. And the cards, oh my goodness. So we'll address a little bit, but she does have connections with orphanages in Romania and all of that stuff. Checked out the articles. Not only that, the videos, pictures, her in her own voice being there. And there was a lot of allegations around that. I can't go into it here on mainstream YouTube. A little bit too controversial, but if you want to check that out, you'll see in my playlist, it's there under membership. So get membership if you want that one. And I think I'll be doing that in the future because the stakes are so high. I need to be able to say things that are important and timely, but just the way, you know, okay, look, we saw that Kimmel was brought back on, but look at this. Look how much the big companies are prepared to work with the fascist regimes. Yeah, so yeah, it's interesting times, as they would say. It's bonkers, to be honest. Just drink some water. Right. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to dive straight in. So thank you, everyone, for joining me. Oh, thank you. Oh, here. Thank you, Jeremiah, so much for your donation. Oh, and an Oxford Cat has just become a member. You are mentioned, Oxford Cat. Yeah, we know who you are, but I've mentioned those fantastic insights that you gave me, yeah, from your, you know, from your experience, yeah, from your experience, shall we say, without giving it away too much. But we're talking high level, guys, high level knowledge, corroborating a lot of the stuff that has been coming out recently about Mr. Kirk's assassination. Again, that I talk about that in that video, and actually I do quote you. I call you Oxford Cat to maintain your identity, but we both, that information that you gave me was extremely useful, and of course it checks out. So there is a lot going on with that woman. Yeah, Erika Kirk. I've never, when I saw her, I just thought, ooh, something's not right. Something's not right. So look, lots of questions to get through. So I'm just going to dive in, and then of course I'll bring you guys in as usual. I think I've had, pardon me, time to number them. Yes, pardon me. Where we're going to first, actually, two questions, and they are the UK. Some of them I don't necessarily have to pull on. So Nick Minks has asked, Dumpy, so Trump at the UN brought up Sadiq Khan, calling him out. Why does Trump have a thing about him, or why does Dump have a thing about him? I think Sadiq Khan replied by saying that he gets to live rent-free in Trump's head. The reason why he's being mentioned, what we need to remember is that this is part of the far-right agenda. Sadiq Khan is an Asian man, British Asian, and he is the mayor of London. And old Elon Muskie, Mr. Muskie, has been calling out Sadiq Khan, etc., and trying to say, trying to turn things into a caliphate and all of this kind of, you know, the usual kind of Islamophobic slurs, whatever they can dish out, you know, because it's all about meddling. 1 second, did I lose the card? 1 minute. No, it just twisted. Funny enough, actually, it was the 7 of Swords, which is about trying to get away with something. So, oh gosh, here, look, we've got a few more. Oh, thank you. Tracy's just become a member, and Lauren Rogers has just become a member as well. Thank you. Yeah, it's let me know your thoughts on that video. I'm telling you guys, the reading was uncanny. Like, I'm also in the phase in my life as well, and having a transit where my skills are being, you know, deepened. It's basically, it's becoming more psychic. I've always been psychic. I've never made a big deal about it. My clients know, you guys know. But of recent weeks, oh my gosh. And of course, it's like each eclipse season, it's like I get more insights and I get more insights. Because remember, the eclipse seasons happen every 6 months and like 2 weeks apart. And of course, I'm Cancer rising, yeah, and the eclipses deal with the nodes of the moon, and it's like the downloads are just ridiculous. So thank you guys for joining. Guys, check out that video and all the other bits and stuff. There's plenty there to rummage through and get stuck in. But in this day and age, I'm going to be adding even more to that because there is so much we need to talk about. Okay, so in terms of the Sadiq Khan, I don't really need to pull on that one because it is part of the fascist playbook. Yeah, and it's Trump meddling, deflecting. Obviously, you know, they want reform to kind of come in, and they're going to be doing all of their best. So actually, I'll go to Nick Mix's second question. So she says, Reform UK's former leader in Wales has admitted taking bribes to make statements in favor of Russia while being a member of the European Parliament. Will it be shown that Reform is working on behalf of Russia to undermine UK politics? Now, this has actually been one of the main accusations towards Nigel Farage, which of course he has vehemently denied. They say, look, you're kind of being paid by Russia, etc. What happened is that they tried to debank him, which it backfired, and it ended up being a bridge too far, because it just set a very ugly precedent that no one was interested in, and a lot of people actually defended Farage because of that. But those connections have been there. Just so you know, guys, in terms of like particularly things with EU migration and stuff, a lot of that is being facilitated and pushed and forced by the Putinska's regime. Just so you know, it's a deliberate act to destabilize, because obviously he wants to destabilize Europe, which is the main ally of the United States. And it's being used as a tool to obviously rattle the domestic populace, and that unsettles everyone, and that also makes people tend to vote more to the right. And also as well, Labour aren't helping, because you know, well, 14 years of Tories were just hopeless, and Labour is even worse. Yeah, so it's helping that agenda, yeah, to move Europe more to the right. And then of course the right are more in alignment with the likes of Putinska, etc., and stuff like that. So let's read on that. Reform UK's former leader in Wales has admitted taking bribes to make, so he's admitted it, to make statements in favor of Russia. It could be a she, but I think it's a he, while being a member of the European Parliament. Will it be shown that Reform is working on behalf of Russia to undermine UK politics? Ah, God. It's all coming out now, isn't it, folks? You guys know, I know I'm preaching to the choir, but you remember I said March 29th, guys, I said when Saturn moves into sidereal Pisces and it's there with Neptune, I said we're going to see all sorts of things. We are like back in the times of the 1930s and the 1960s combined. Okay, Reform. Are they taking bribes from Russia? Will it emerge? What I'm hearing is the trouble is that so much of the media is compromised. Yeah, think of how much of the media just keep going along with this stuff. If the media was speaking with one voice against all of this stuff, it wouldn't be nearly as bad as it is. That's what you do. You control the media, or you silence the comedians. Yeah, well, that kind of stuff. Now this is interesting. So in regards to Reform, if we look here, we have got the Page of Wands. The pages are all about messages, but also as well, let's not forget that that basically the Page of Wands is also like the orator. Yeah, it deals with dialogue, speech. Yeah, so this of course is also talking about in many ways, I think this is kind of Reform in a way, yeah, because at the moment, look, they have the luxury of not being in power, so they can just spew and spew and spew and spew, yeah, because they don't have any track record, and that can be an advantage in politics when people are tired of the incumbents, yeah, when they're tired of the incumbents. Quite interesting, of course, they ended up working out for Duck L'Orange, but you know, America is a different case, and of course you're dealing with a lot of people that are in basically mentally extremely vulnerable people. I mean, I don't know if you've been seeing the Rapture fail videos that have been going around. I think there's a question on that. Just tragic, sad Sad, 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 just sad. Anyway, if we look here, there. So this is walking away from something. Yeah, this can talk about this former leader of reform having to leave his or her position. I don't know if they're male or female. I'm assuming they're male, but it could be female. And so look, you see here, this is the speech. But this as well can also be things like, because look, one's is fire and passion. This could also be the rhetoric, you know, the hate speech, the ginnying things up, stirring things up. But yeah, having to walk away from that. If we look here, we see the world card. So there is an international element here. So again, this was about what? Taking bribes from Russia. Yeah, so this international aspect is there in the middle of the reading. If we look here, we have the 8 of Pentacles. So yeah, they're going to be working hard on their agenda. They're working hard with other kind of like more far right entities, but mainly with the United States. Yeah, because we need to remember that Farage is a major ally to Trump. Yeah, major ally. I don't agree with it, but that's just the way. That's just the way it is, you know. So look, they're still working on that. However, if you look here, we have got the 9 of Swords. So things may not fully work out in their favor. One thing I'll tell you is that UK politics, in terms of checks and balances, is quite robust. Like, for example, in the UK, at least for now, you can't steal elections. Yeah, because we use pen and paper. Yeah, obviously we're a much smaller country than the United States. Yeah, there's states in America that's bigger than Britain. Yeah, way bigger than Britain. But the point is, we use pencil and paper. You cannot hack pencil and paper. That is not affected by Mercury retrograde and all that stuff. This is why, for example, yeah, I keep analog copies, yeah, of all my clients, yeah, clients' charts. Yeah, we look here. Yeah, that's just like 1 month there. Each sheet is a soul contract. And I jealously guard this because let me tell you, it's as long as you keep it dry and safe, of course, but it can't be corrupted. It can't retrograde. It can't be hacked. So as long as you have paper ballots that do not rely on counting machines and all of this stuff in the UK, yeah, people still count by hand. And you vote for your MP, not necessarily the party. Yeah, you basically vote for the MP. Yes, you can be voting for the party that they represent, but mainly in the UK, you vote for the MP. Yeah. So we can see there's still a while to go in UK politics. So I think what will happen is the crazier that things get in the United States, just like how people have seen that Brexit hasn't really worked out for the UK, people will start backing away. Yeah, backing away. When people see, that's not really worked out. Yeah, as the cray continues in the United States, and of course, Farage has got a strong connection, of course, with Trump, but also Elon Musk. We'll have to see. However, they are doing well in the polls, folks. They are, but a lot can change between now and 4 years from now. Yeah, we have elections, I think, every 5 years in the UK. So the Labour have been in for a year or so. So they've still got, on paper, they've still got 4 years to go. They can turn it around a lot. This is why they're talking about the ID card stuff. Like that's going to stop people coming to the UK. It's rubbish. Just these control agendas. Anyway, I'm ranting now. Let me get on to the next question. Let's go to question number 3. So Nick Minks again, and I'll call this here rapture fail. So she said, did the rapture really fail, or is it that the interpretation of what this would be was wrong? Since the eclipse, quite a few feel energy has shifted. Well, the energies always shift around the eclipses, and basically it was a fail. Yeah. They're calling this quite rightly, they're calling this religious psychosis. Yeah, religious psychosis. it has been prophesied many times that the rapture will come, and it's always failed. Yeah, it's always failed. The main caveat that is ignored by these people is that it says in scripture that no one will know the date or time. Not the angels, not even Jesus. It says when the rapture comes, it will come like a thief in the night. You can't plan for it. Yeah, you can't plan for it. All of these people, you know, voting for Duck L'Orange, and then they think they're going to be raptured. I mean, please, really? Probably what's going to happen is, if this thing is even going to be a thing, because it was made a big deal of in the 1800s in the USA, what will happen is, if there's truly going to be a rapture, what they're going to find is they are the ones that are left behind, and all of us have gone up to some other realm without even realizing that we'd earned our place in heaven. We'd be like, oh, we're here. Yeah, people selling off houses, giving away all of their savings, quitting their jobs, distraught, putting their accounts onto private because of the shame, yeah, of what they've done to themselves and other people. You should see the mocking. Oh my God, the videos are just priceless. Sadly, I think some people it's going to be too much, and they're going to be like, you know, what have you. But let's just read on that. This rapture, this psychosis that these people got into. Thank you so much, Tamara, for your kind donation. Much appreciated. And thank you, Phyllis. Oh, you've become a YouTube member as well. Thanks so much. Hope you like the content there. I'm not going to be adding to it. There is so much going on, and there's so much part of me that I've discovered that I can't say in public. It's too risky now. Obviously, I'll still be making my videos, but there's extra stuff, you know, where I'm just like, right. Let's see here. Deborah saying, Jan Dunn, why are you making a big deal? End time is rapture. What's this? And then Karen said, thank you for that deep dive video on EK. Members only, so enlightening. You are much appreciated. Oh, thank you, Karen. I'm glad you enjoyed the video. Oh, it's just, oh. Honestly, it gives you the shivers. And let's see here. The signs mentioned in Revelation we are seeing in real time. This is true. We are. But it does say in the Bible, no one will know the time. No one will know the time. Yeah. So these people were like, it's the 23rd of September. Yeah. So if Jesus doesn't know, and the angels don't know, only God knows, how can we mere mortals know? Yeah. Just be a good person. That's what it's really saying is, be a good person, be Christ-like, yeah, the Christ consciousness, yeah, merciful, truthful, yeah, merciful, truthful, kind, not wanting to cause harm, yeah. When we do that, that is here we are. Someone giving extra background. Thank you. Jan says the rapture was made up in the 1850s by a preacher that wanted more followers. Well, there you go. Let's see here. Donna says, I'm an ex-Christian. Luckily, I realized that at a very early stage of my life. Yeah. And then Brenda saying, Diana, agree. Yeah, look, and this is why I say it's tragic, because the world is a very frightening place right now. And a lot of people are feeling very vulnerable. God, have I pulled cards on this? Let me pull cards on this. Because it is something that captured a lot of people's imagination. Like there was one TikTok that I was watching, this guy was responding to the rapture fail. And he was saying there is a woman standing outside in the street, naked, looking exasperated, confused, weeping, crying, because she thought she was gonna be taken up to heaven, standing naked in the street. I saw some other responses that were gathered by independent YouTubers, where they were saying a female pastor in South Africa was saying, women, if you want to get raptured, you need to wear only a G-string and or lace panties. She's standing there preaching this stuff. You can't make it up. You literally can't make it up. Thank you, Robin. Thank you for becoming a new YouTube member. Much appreciated. All right, let's read on this rapture then. Move on. I feel it's not even they're being mocked, but it just feels tragic to me. Yeah, I feel sorry for them. A part of me just feels sorry for them, where I was just like, wow, you know, wow. You know, no one will know the date. That is what is said anyway. Such is life. Ooh. Ah, yeah. All right, here we go. I think I know what this means. Let's just see here. Thank you, Anne, so much. Oh, it's Anne. You're coming to London soon, aren't you, Anne? She says, yay, love catching you live, Hogarth. Thank you. And I look forward. We need to go for a coffee. Yeah, I've put in my diary. I know you're going to be in London. Anne was part of my astrology retreat that I did in Arizona in America, which was what, last year? Now, gosh, it feels like a long time ago now. But it was just last year. So she's coming to London. I think she's visiting. I think you're visiting with your mum, aren't you, Anne? So I'm going to try and catch up with her, have a coffee. So much to discuss. My God. Anyway, the rapture stuff. We look here. It was a world phenomena. Yeah, it went all around the world. All people thought they were getting raptured and being taken up to heaven, probably even more scantily dressed than the woman in the picture. We look here, yeah, in the obstacle position, we have the Ace of Pentacles, which deals with what? Money, finance, etc. They gave a lot of their money away. Yeah, and you see, world phenomena. The money's appearing in the obstacle. They gave a lot of their wads of cash, belongings. Yeah, this deals with assets, belongings of all kinds. Yeah, gone. Really, we can interpret it like that. Gave it all away, which is in a way, which is good, but they weren't doing it for the right reasons. Yeah. Anyway, deep reflection now. Deep reflection, because they weren't raptured. Now they are questioning themselves. They're now questioning their faith. They're questioning their judgment. They're also being questioned by their family as well. Some families have already broken up over this. Yeah, because imagine you're, say, like you're a married couple, wife with 2 kids, money's tight, and your husband's convinced you that the rapture's coming, and you're just like, baby, I'm not sure. Yeah, maybe we shouldn't give away the car. Maybe we shouldn't give away the savings. Maybe we shouldn't give away our house. And that happens. Yeah, they do that, and the rapture's not happened. What happens to that relationship? Yeah. Yeah, over. So we've got a lot of soul searching here. Ironically, what is going to happen is these people are now going to actually get closer in terms of true faith, and because of these obstacles that they now face. Yeah, having to go within. A lot of them have now also made their TikTok accounts private. Yeah. Anyway, look, feeling forlorn, not knowing, not liking the options on the table. Yeah. Because imagine if you've, well, I say imagine, a lot of people, these people gave up their jobs. Imagine they gave up their jobs because they thought they were going to be raptured. Now what they've got the decisions to make, but they don't like either option on the table. I was watching one guy, he said, I've given away all my savings and my truck. He's like, I can't even get to work. I can't even go back. His life is over. Yeah, a lot of these people, their lives is over. Yeah. Because look, they made that left field choice. Yeah, you see how it's here floating in the air. How appropriate. Yeah, they thought they would be floating in the air, but it didn't work. And then we get the 8 of Pentacles. They're going to have to try hard to rebuild their lives. Yeah, they may work on a new conspiracy theory after this, but I think many of them won't. Yeah, it's just devastating each time it happens, and these people lose everything. That's the end of that round of the rapture, and then a few years from now there'll be the next lot that will keep going. Yeah, because there is so much happening in the world. I can understand, to be fair, there are more of the symbols and signs, but the symbols and signs, but what it actually says, it says the rapture will come like a thief in the night. Yeah, like a thief in the night. You won't be able to plan for it. Anyway, let's move on. So let's talk a little bit about Netanyahu, and then we're going to get into some dumpy Trump. All right, so Nick Mix again says Netanyahu got a walk out at the UN, then berated those recognizing Palestine. Is his comeuppance arriving soon? I don't know. I would say, look at that. World UN, yeah? World United Nations. Look at that. These couples come up soon. Let's just see what the cards have to say. These dreadful people, dreadful. Oh, I have to look at Stephen Miller as well. Oh. Netanyahu. Maybe. If we look here, remember the world card was at the base of the deck, and here we get another major arcana, the lovers. Now remember, the lovers deals with trade, contracts and agreements, not just marriage. I also associate with trade as well. Yeah, contracts and agreement, trade, imports, exports. Yeah, what he is thinking about, he's thinking about the material worth of Gaza. Yeah, because let's not forget the Trump Gaza video. Remember, he was in it. And it was a statement of intent. I remember when that video came out, I said, guys, that is a statement of intent. It's not a joke. This is a statement of intent. He was in it, which means that Duck L'Orange had to clear it with BB for him to be in it. And Mr. Blair, our former prime minister, is also helping with the plans and stuff. I've checked it out. You guys check it out. Look literally at the plans that are being made now, yeah, without the Gazans' permission. Of course, they're not involved. So yeah, you can see here Netanyahu's thinking about that bigger picture. He wants that land. Yeah, we look here, just in case you weren't sure, you get the Knight of Swords, which is the card of what? Aggression. Yeah, war. You will notice here that you see this is the card where all the four hooves are off the ground, where you can't see the two in the back, but they're off the ground. And you see there is the knight, yeah, Knight of Swords, charging with his swords, and he's cloak of scarlet, symbolizing blood. Yeah, aggression. There is what? Bloodshed. Yeah, it's going for it in Gaza, more bombings and shootings and everything. Yeah, however, if we look here, you see there's this juggling pattern here, the stormy waters behind. He is having to do a bit of a balancing act. Yeah, what we need to remember is not everyone in Israel supports what is going on in Gaza. Yeah, so let's not, of course, tar everyone with the same brush. It's quite a complex scenario. He's also juggling the courts. Yeah, the courts, coming up with all sorts of excuses of why he can't be there and be held to account. If we look here, this is him defending himself, yeah, trying to defend his position, because obviously he's being called out, at the UN, and I think UK, France, and other countries have recognized Palestine. So if Palestine is recognized as a sovereign country, then of course that pushes the whole war crimes thing further up the agenda. If you look here, he's rearing up, yeah. This is the Knight of Wands. The shadow of this card can talk about hubris, yeah, arrogance, immaturity, and rushing into things. I think he's going to try and keep going. If we look here, yeah, we see he's got the Knight of Swords and the Knight of Wands, which have the most energy. So my instinct is just that he's going to double down. Yeah, if he was going to be held account, I want to say he's going to be held account, but not for now, not right now. If there was like the Tower and the Death card and the Four of Swords, then I'll be like, oh, okay. But nah, he's going to just double down. Yeah, he's going to double down. All right, let's see who else is in the chat. See how I'm doing on time. Make sure I get through all the questions. And then here, at Cat Mum says, Cat, Putin and Netanyahu are besties. Yeah, pretty much. And then Teresa says, don't forget to tap on the like button. Thank you. Here we are. Cindy Paul says, that's right, the UN is in New York and the US supports Bibi. Yeah, absolutely. But they seemed he obviously wasn't pleased. And then Cat Mum says, most Israelis are not behind Netanyahu. Indeed. There's not a consensus within Israel about it. And he needs locking up, as we all know. And then if we look here, Purple says, I can't read the rest of that. This whole thing was a distraction to get Bibi out of his case. Of course. Just like how Trump is using creating world events to keep everyone distracted on Epstein and to keep everyone distracted on what is emerging about Charlie Kirk. I mean, these people, they're just, like, I heard it said once before, but I really do believe it's true. It's not flattering, but someone once said that politics is showbiz for ugly people. Yeah, not everyone in politics is ugly, but there's a lot of people that are ugly on the inside. Yeah, I think that's fair to say. All right, so this one is coming from Winita Holmes. Thank you so much, Winita, for your question. This is a Charlie Kirk, Mr. Kirk question. Did Kash Patel shoot Kirk following orders from the regime? He fits the description of one witness. Right. This is a very. I don't think I can answer that question in public. To be honest, yeah, I don't think I can answer that question in public. I'm going to pull some cards. Because, guys, it's so dark. When you start pulling the thread of the jumper and you see what is revealed, it's like, oh my goodness. Let's just read on Kash Patel and let's let the cards do the talking. Yeah. But as you heard me say before, the whole thing stinks. And according to experts, that bullet could not have come from the roof. Yeah. Just so you know, I go into it in the, like I said, in the Erika Kirk video. Yeah, but I'm just going to pull cards on Mr. Kash. What's going on with Kash? Let the cards do the talking. Cards do the talking. Of course. I'm gonna have to pull a clarifier on that. Let me pull a clarifier on that last card. I can just see it all here. Oh, do you see? I've got the hamster wheel. That's the emotions. All right. Kash Patel, I'm going to let the cards do the talking. Here we are. We get the Knight of Cups, yeah, which is sometimes known as the False Knight. This card often referred to as the envoy or the PR person. He is a front, yeah. His main job is to control the messaging, yeah. Keep putting out the messaging, even though we know it's a pile of crock, yeah. That's his job. And he used to be a podcaster. However, Mr. Kash is feeling a bit beaten up, yeah, a bit beaten up. He's feeling battle weary, a bit tired. Yeah, I think this is turning out to be a lot more work than he thought, a lot more pressure than he thought. We look here, 3 of Swords, heartbreak, heartache. I suspect that Mr. Kash didn't think his life would turn out like this. Yeah, now he's with the regime. Internally, yeah, he's thinking, oh my God, I can't believe this is my life. I don't feel sorry for him, yeah. It's his fault, yeah. But You know, he didn't have to say yes. However, if we look here, we have the sword of truth coming up here. Yeah, the sword of truth. This is a threat. Yeah, this is a threat because, of course, they don't want the truth to come out. Everyone knows that this whole thing stinks to high heaven, and it's not even being cooked. Evidence here, I think, is being barbecued. Yeah, it just doesn't tally. And when they put out those texts, I think they lost all credibility on this. Not that there was much to start with, but I don't think anyone's buying that. Look, Two of Cups, yeah, talking about what? Marriage, partnerships, yeah, this is partnerships, deals, horse trading, yeah. Mr. Patel has been in, this is a deal, it's an agreement on what to say certain things. I mean, it's obvious, yeah. I'm not going to win a genius visa for this, but you know what I mean? But it's just coming out so clearly in the cards. He is a spokesperson. He is a front man. He is there to control the message, the narrative, to sweeten up, keep the base on board. Yeah, but he's struggling. Yeah, he is struggling. He's faced a lot of critique. Yeah, himself. Inwardly, he's not feeling great about the scenario because the truth keeps showing up. Truth about what? Yeah, partnerships. I pulled a clarifier card. Look who, I said, what is this partnership about internally? Look who showed up. The Empress card. Now, you know, I associate this card with Russia. Yeah, with Russia. Go and watch that Erika Kirk video. You'll notice in the thumbnail, I've put the Empress card. You know why? Because it came up in this reading representing her. I said, who is this partnership with? So think about that. Yeah. Partnership. Cash Patel, podcaster. Yeah. With the prom queen wife that's left behind. So for those that watch that video, you'll see how that Empress coming up is even more profound. Oh my God, you can't make this stuff up. It's a facade, everyone. It's a facade. And Kirk, in my opinion, was sacrificed. Simple as that. To forward a wider agenda. Because he said no. Right. If we look here. What's this? We've got Erika Kirk. Actually, let's go straight on to the Erika Kirk part. Because I'm going at quite a good pace. So, and then we can talk about Trump and military. So Juanita and Manuela Orchid asked about Erika. I'll see what I can say. Juanita says, is Erika Kirk in trouble from the regime next? I think she's scared. Like, you would not believe what came out in that reading that I did for her. You will not believe it. This is like word for word. I think she is scared. She's being careful not to rock the boat. She knows what they're capable of. She needs to guard and protect her kids from them. Yes, good point. Manuela says, hi, Hoagie. She says, hi, Hoagie, was really a bit shocking about Erika Kirk, but she gives me the creeps and I don't know why. She seems very artificial. I could never do a speech after my husband got shot. My question for today would be, if the real truth comes out about everything in the murder of Charlie Kirk. Thank you. Much love, Manuela. Well, I go into that, like I said before, in that private video, but let's just pull some cards about whether or not more truth will emerge. And she's got a sketchy past, guys. Not in terms of like, well, Romania and stuff. You'll see Romania. Also as well, it's very interesting, Mr. Kirk's father, his connection with Duck L'Orange. Yeah. One of the architects that built Trump Tower. When I read that, I could not believe it. I was like, wow, makes sense. All right. Erika, let's see how to phrase the question. Okay, will the real truth come out about Charlie? Let's see. For entertainment purposes only. This is interesting. Will the truth come out? Wheel of Fortune, yeah, it's yet to be decided. It's yet to be decided. It's in flux. The Wheel of Fortune talks about events spinning and moving. When the Phoenix is on the top, that's more inclined to good luck. Yeah, but it's a card where there's not much control. Yeah, you don't have much control with the Wheel of Fortune because it turns. Yeah, it deals with fate, karma, destiny, etc. Thank you so much, Elba, for joining. And thank you. Oh, what's going on here? Let me click off this one. And thank you so much, Edith, as well, for joining. Much appreciated. I hope you enjoy membership. I'm sure you will. Plenty in there, plenty in there. Ghislaine Maxwell is all in there from back in the day. In fact, I've not looked at that video in ages. Look up for me and let me know how much came true. Well, I think it all came true, to be honest, but lots of people are in there. Anyway, Wheel of Fortune. Events are out of control, yeah? Will the truth be revealed? That was the question about Mr. Kirk. Look here. Seven of Swords. What? Cheating. Trying to get away with something. We already know from the previous character that we were talking about how that's connected, yeah? Mr. Cash. Trying to get away with something, yeah? So already this is saying the situation is not fully in control. So if you're Mr. Patel, for example, you're trying to control this investigation, people can tell, look, someone's trying to get away with something. There's something not right here. We look here. Now, this is really telling. Here we have the Seven of Pentacles, and, you know, I refer to this card as the card of ROI, return on your investment. Certain powers and donors invested in Turning Point from back in the day. They put the money in and they wanted the return on their investment, yeah, but their asset started to defy, again, for entertainment purposes only, yeah. That's at the middle of the reading. But someone's happy, yeah. Nine of Cups. Someone is happy, and it's very interesting. When you look back through those readings, you'll see when the Three of Cups comes up as well, shows you who's celebrating. This is also the smug merchant. So there are actually quite a few people that in his circle, shall we say, that are quite happy that, yeah, he's not around. Shows in the cards. And then we have the Strength card here as well. The Strength card is about, you know, restraint. Power and restraint, but the thing is, would the truth come out? I'm inclined to say no. In many ways, the truth is coming out, but what it is, we need to understand how deep the fix is, yeah? It's also with legacy media as well. Yeah, this is why fewer and fewer people are watching legacy media, because you're not getting candid discussions. You might get a little candid discussion here and there, but they won't talk about substantive, real boat rocking stuff. Imagine if it were to emerge, yeah, that that Kirk was unalived, yeah, by the regime. Yeah, imagine what that would do if that actually, I mean, if they could even believe it anyway. But obviously independent readers like us can pull on this kind of stuff, and again, for entertainment purposes only. But think about how catastrophic that would be. So they're going to do their best. Yeah, they're going to do their best to make sure it is not the case, which is why they're cooking up all of this fantasy stuff. Yeah, all of this make-believe. All right, next one. Oh, so this is Juanita again, actually. Well, you're doing well tonight. I'm getting a few of your questions out. She says here, will Trump get rid of military generals and admirals in the military so he can get control of the military more easily? It's dangerous for them to all be in one place. No security. They could decide then to go after the president nut who thinks this is okay. If they all get to talking, who pays for all this Trump out of his own money? So I think there's also a gathering, isn't there? I think Nick Minks was asking me about that. We got a question about Trump's health. There is where is it? Apparently he's gathering them all together for like some oath or something like that, taking an oath. But again, I can't fully verify that because I saw that headlines on thumbnails of YouTube while I was trying to get ready for my own show, because obviously I've been out all day. So that's what I've heard, but if someone could let me know in the comments. So let's just see the question again. It's dangerous to them. So will Trump get rid of the military generals? Well, he's already done that. Yeah, in a way, he's already done that. He's already purged the military of its seniors. So that part's already happened. Let's just see what are Duck Larange's plans for the military. Yeah, let's just put here Trump's plans for the military. We all know he wants to co-opt it for his own purposes, but let's just see what the cards have to say. Duck Larange, plans for military. Oh, there's 970 of you with me right now. Thank you so much, everyone. Trump's plans for military. What's going on? Trump's plans for military. Trump's plans for military. Oh God, bloody hell. All right, here we go. So just in case we weren't sure, yeah, 4 of Wands, which you guys know I associate with what? The White House when I'm doing my political reading. So of course this is talking about Duck Larange and of course his new ballroom. Yeah, this is about building things, reaching a landmark. But you see here there's 4 posts here, and this is it's a wedding event, a celebratory event, but this would soon have a roof, etc. This is Trump's ballroom. Yeah. So we know we're talking about Duck Larange here. He's obsessed with it. He's obsessed with it. If we look here, we have the moon card. Yeah, the moon card. Nothing is clear by moonlight. Conflict of internal desires here, but also as well secret plans and machinations. Yeah. So what it means is there are many more plans that he has for the military that the public doesn't know about. And particularly as well, do you remember he accidentally he sent a text to Pam Bondi, or he thought he was sending a text to Pam Bondi, and he put it on Truth Social in public, and then he quickly took it down. If we look here, we get the Queen of Pentacles. When we're talking politics, I often associate this card with the electorate, yeah, the domestic people. So of course he has a plan, yeah, or his ballroom and all of that stuff, but there are secret plans in regards to the electorate, yeah, and ordinary people. But also as well, this can also deal with a woman with dark hair or darker skin. So I hope he's not thinking about Kamala, or no, although I know he has been rabbiting on about her. Oh God. Oh my God. I hope he doesn't have any sinister plans for Kamala. This is my Kamala card. Deals with a woman with darker hair or darker skin. Yeah, she's African American, half Indian. Look at the next card. Wow, death card. Doesn't always mean literal death, but it means transformation, of course, a transformation that can't be avoided. He wants to use the military to basically create irreversible transformation, particularly in regards to the electorate. I hope he's not going to use the military or powers against Kamala, but I feel like her energy is coming in a bit as well. And then if we look here, look, he's gonna use bribes. Yeah, he's gonna use bribes. He wants to impoverish Americans. I mean, that's pretty obvious, isn't it? He wants to impoverish everyone who's not in that top 1%. But in terms of the military, yeah, there might be elements of bribes or giving them a pay rise or something like that. God, this guy. Just dreadful, yeah? All those people that gave their energy to him, voted for him. Now look. Really? Now look. Just an absolute... Oh, it's just beyond tragedy. Oh, let's see here. What's this? Judy says there was a video circulation that XK was set up by his own security detail. Wow. I mean, there's going to be lots of theories out there because we're not going to be getting the truth out of the FBI. That much I think we can all agree on. Geraldine says, I don't feel sorry for anyone who sold their soul for a corrupt tyrant. Yeah. I mean, it's just, it's just tragic, isn't it? It's just tragic. Yeah, V Funny says, why is there no forensic report or autopsy report? Because it's cooked, yeah? It's absolutely cooked. It's a stinks to high heaven. It's a whole pile of crock. That's why, yeah? Because this, he used to be a podcaster, Cash. Can you believe it? A podcaster in charge of the FBI. You can't make this stuff up. Deborah Hayes said, Cash must be missing Vegas. He spent a lot of time there in the beginning with his job. Yeah, should have stayed in Vegas. I'm sure he's missing it. That's why he's getting the Three of Swords, yeah? Because he's like, I'm sure when he's at home and he's at home or in his hotel room, he's probably like, oh my God, I can't believe this is my life. Imagine you're a podcaster and then you're put in charge of the FBI. Like, completely unqualified, completely out of his depth. Oh, look at this. A cat mom says, EK, Erika, worked for Trump after the pageant, of course. She was Miss Arizona, by the way, and we know how fond Duck Larange is of pageants. And then Mad Hog said, Cash is, he's struggling because he's so incompetent, totally unqualified for the job. Yeah, it's just ridiculous. Just absolutely ridiculous. Karen said, yeah, he just wanted to party and act like a big shot in Vegas. Yeah. And then EK, yeah, Cat Mom saying EK was kicked out of Romania for trafficking, yeah, children. Yeah. That's what we go into in the video, yeah, digging deep into that again for entertainment purposes only, but it starts to stack up, guys. Once you start following the trail, you don't have to dig that far. And she definitely was there with her charities. Someone's saying, I heard, Jerry's saying, I heard somewhere that CM body was moved out of Utah, autopsy performed, and apparently was no exit wound. Well, there was, because let's just say it came from a different direction. Probably, I think it came out this way. Yeah. Again, I can't say too much. I can't say too much, but I go into it more in that private video. What's this? Now FDT wants to fire high military and replace them with unqualified morons to have mercy on us. Yeah, yes, Foggy. Of course, he doesn't want competent people, and this is why I said I think maybe people might have taken umbrage at it at the time, but I have to say the word again. This is a kakistocracy. A kakistocracy is basically like an autocracy, but where the most incompetent and unqualified people are in charge. I don't know what other name fits. Yeah. Let's look. Oh, Jesus, look at the time. Oh, my goodness. Well, we got through quite a lot. Nick Winks says, again, Miller at Kirk's funeral regurgitated a speech by Joseph Goebbels. Two cards indicate how far Miller is prepared to go with his far right agenda. Actually, we don't need to pull cards on that one. The answer to that is all the way and then some. He is the most dangerous person in the regime, the most dangerous. And then I would say J.D. Vance. Yeah. Because Duck L'Orange is being exploited. It doesn't obviously excuse everything. He's the figurehead, but these are the ones that are really in charge. All right, I'm going to quickly look on this one. Lulu Sunshine just said, so when is Trump getting out of office? How is Trump's health? And again, it doesn't say what time you're coming on. Oh, that's actually, it did say the time. And Denise Ferguson said it's showing 7:15 p.m. EST for me, which was the correct time. All right, Duck L'Orange's health. Now, remember, he was looking like death warmed up. Do you remember? He was looking like death warmed up. And then, of course, he disappeared for a few days. Obviously, he had an operation. Yeah. Remember, I was reporting just a few weeks ago during his visit to the UK, state visit, I saw him on TV and he was sitting down and his trousers were up and his ankles were normal. Yeah. So it means they've fixed whatever the issue was, yeah, which is clearly issue with the heart. That's why the fluid was building, and that's why everyone was calling him cankles. So I think they fixed him for now. We'll just have to see, but the mind obviously can't last much longer. But anyway, Duck L'Orange in his health. Unfortunately, as you've heard me say before, these people, they have the best doctors in the world, unfortunately. However, when Jupiter in October, like I've been saying, Jupiter is going to stand right on top of Trump's Saturn from the 8th, well, it's already happening, to be honest, because the gas giants pull the lever of the next house when they're in the last few degrees. But on the 18th/19th of October 2025, Jupiter will become exalted. Look, I can even feel, oh, yeah. I think the heart is still dodgy. Duck L'Orange's health. Let's see if any heart stuff comes up. Duck L'Orange's health. Let me hold my obsidian. Yes. Yeah, I'm actually, I don't normally get sensations like that. Yeah. It could be a temporary fix. Depends how he looks after himself. Let's see. Well, here we are. Duck L'Orange making his partnerships, making his deals. Yeah, 2 of Cups. We know that with his partnerships, he has managed to increase his wealth significantly. The guy's worth over 5 billion now. They say he's made 50% of his total lifetime wealth since he's been in the White House on this occasion. Yeah, just in case we weren't sure who we were talking about, look, the card for the White House comes back again. So we know we are definitely talking about Duck L'Orange. This is about reaching a milestone. Yeah, reaching a milestone. But we can also see it potentially as reverse because it is in the obstacle position. It's his ballroom, you know. I feel like that's what's in his heart. He is obsessed with this bloody ballroom. He really is. Anyway, we look here, at least temporarily for now. Look, he gets the 6 of Wands, which is talking about riding into victory and all of this kind of stuff. So I think this is him and his ballroom. This is so important for him. Yeah, he's prepared to partner with people to get this, yeah, stuff in the White House. So he has this sense of victory. But then look, he gets the 5 of Pentacles. That this is the card of ill health. Yeah, ill health or being out in the cold and stuff like that. So what I'm saying is this might be a temporary victory. Yeah, victory card is all right for now, but it could be temporary. We're asked about health, and he's got the card of poor health. And then look, 4 of Pentacles, holding on. So it's like, we'll have to see. We'll have to see what Jupiter brings. The 12th house deals with prisons, hospitals. It's obviously not going, like many of us have said before, we've not seen Dr. Ranj getting locked up, and of course that has proven to be true. But the 12th house deals with exile, retirement, hospitals, the land of far, far away. It also deals with foreign money as well, foreign governments. In the case of Trump, because his Saturn is there. Saturn is the planet of government. So what I'm going to say is, he's worked in partnership with his, not only with his architects, but also his doctors. Yeah. So he can stay in the White House, get his ballroom built. Yeah. He wants to see that built. And he's had a temporary victory for now. But I'm not sure if it's going to last, because the health card has come back again. And you see him here holding on. So it may be the case that there is a health episode, maybe another stroke or something like that, or where he's weakened in some way. And then it has to maybe be handed over to Vance or something like that. We'll have to see. We'll have to see what happens when Jupiter goes through Trump's 12th. Yeah, to see what energy that will manifest. So yeah, I'll leave it there. Otherwise, as you know, I'll bang on for forever. Oh, thank you. So thank you, Mary, for becoming a member. Thank you, Daryl, for becoming a member. Much appreciated. Pardon me. And thank you, Fizzlers, for becoming a member as well. Gosh, that's quite a few of you tonight. Well, look, oh gosh, and over 1,000 of you have joined me this evening as well. What's that? 1,015 of you and loose change. So thank you so much. I hope you guys found that interesting. I wish I could go into a bit more detail, but, you know, I have to protect my channel. You know, there's just certain things, especially this day and age, you can't say too explicitly out in public. But I hope you found that useful. I think we got through quite a lot of questions there, quite a few. I think that was at least 7 or 8, maybe even 9. So I will leave it there. I'm going to get some sleep now. I'm a little bit tired. I've been so busy. I want to give out a shout out as well to all of my clients this week and over the last few weeks, and all the people that took advantage of that special offer. It went very, very well. But I've been off the charts with the readings. Have just been, oh my goodness. But there you are. Eclipses can also increase the powers as well. Let's see what else comes out, guys. Keep the faith, keep putting one foot in front of the other. But all of this stuff coming out from the FBI and whatnot, it's a load of crock. Yeah, it's a load of crock. His unaliving is being used as an excuse to try and erode civil liberties. It's nice that what's his name, thingamajig, Kimmel had to be put back, but Trump has also charged Comey, hasn't he? Indicted Comey. Not got time to go into that. We'll probably do that in my next show or something like that. But guys, I'm going to leave it there for now. Thank you so much. Big love, everyone. Mwah! And I will see you soon. All right. Bye-bye for now.